Hey everyone, welcome to another Painting with Jay. As always, my name is Jay, so come paint with me. Grab a brush, grab some models, grab some paints, and let's paint along. Let's get some painted models, get them all painted up. I like saying painted. And I'll discuss my week, discuss things with you. All is good. Talk to you soon. Let's start painting some tyranids. Hey everyone, welcome back to Painting with Jay. Oh, sorry, I just better clean up some stuff. I have some bits lying around. I'm actually working on some bits for a base for a commission model that I'm working on. I'll show you actually. Might as well show you. Look at them. Here's a big mech with custom force field. I really like the sell that, you know. The grot's missing his head because the person who sent the models forgot to put the head on. But it was cool. So he'll send the grot head and I'll put it back on. This is a custom head. I forgot what it's from, but it looks really cool. It's a head from another company. There it is. I think it turned out pretty awesome. So if you want a commission quote to this kind of standard, contact me at commissions@jadedproductions.com. I don't really do that much custom base work, but I don't mind helping out like this. Like, I'm going to put a little bit of a junkyard feel onto the base. And all is good. So today I'll be working on some tyranids, some random ones. I'll start by putting the shading on some warriors and some of the new hive guard. Because I really like them. I got to start using them in games because they're a lot better than the, zoom out a little bit. They're a lot better than the old hive guard that are so freaking base heavy, or no, sorry, top heavy, and they fall over, they're front heavy, and it's annoying. So I'm excited to use some new guys. And then after this is done, I will just work on my my go-to model, the Toxicrene, but I'm almost done him. Then I got to work on the Terminator base. I haven't actually been able to do that much painting besides my commissions now. I'm going to find that probably the rate in which I paint my tyranids over the next few months is going to slow down a little bit as I do more and more commissions. The reason is I need the extra money. And yeah, so I don't mind painting up other people's models. It's really cool. I've painted up a few commission models so far. And if you follow my Jaded Painting Facebook page, you'll know that. But it's really cool. So far, every model that I painted up has turned out really cool. And the owner really loves it, and that's what matters. You know, whenever I surpass the expectations, that's what matters. You know. Also, congratulations. I should start by congratulating Mr. Patrick Dubois, because I know Patrick watches my Painting with Jays, and Patrick just had his first kid the other day. Well, technically his wife, but still. They gave birth to a happy, healthy little girl named Justine, and I think the name's awesome. And so congratulations, Mr. Patrick Dubois. I think that's really, really cool. I've been talking to him since, you know, they found out she was pregnant. But he was. Anybody knows Patrick? He was in my, unfortunate because of the technical errors. He was in my Blood Angel Codex review, and he's a really good guy. He's French Canadian, so I had to look up how to say congratulations on your baby in French. Because, I don't know, just figured it would be kind of cool. So congratulations, or félicitations, Patrick. What else? It's been a good week. You know what? It's been a busy week, but a really interesting week. Today's Friday. I'm not going to pretend like this was filmed on Thursday, because I do typically film on Wednesdays or Thursdays. But I've been so busy this week, I was able to get off last Saturday to go to Brawl in the Hall. So to do that, I basically had to work an extra day this week, so I wasn't able to film a lot, which has been showing, unfortunately, in my videos. And I'll talk about that. Hopefully, the beginning of the end of my legs in my videos is here, partly because of you, all y'all, and the support that I get. So I'll talk about that after. So let's talk about my week. Why not? Brawl in the Hall. So last Friday, Codex came out. I did a Codex review on Sunday. Monday, I think it was Sunday or Monday, for Imperial Knights. Good codex. I think it was what they deserved a couple years ago, frankly. It has, you know, more than 2 options. It has 5 options, and warlord traits and relics and all that stuff. And it's going to be cool. I can't wait to try out some of the rules with my Forge World Knights, who are they're good too, but they're not, I wouldn't say infinitely better or anything. They have a main disadvantage in that they are faster than the normal ones, because they run 3d6 if they want. But the problem is they only have 1 gun, so you have to fire out whatever you want to shoot. Or sorry, you have to fire out whatever you want to assault. And the biggest problem is that a lot of the time they're so good in shooting that they'll kill whatever they want to shoot at, and so they don't have anything to assault. Versus the other ones from GW, where they have 2 guns. So essentially, you fire 1 gun at a stronger target, and then you fire, like if you have some annoying troops in front of you, you fire the heavy stubber at them, and then you fire like the gigantic gun at a vehicle or fortification or something you really want to kill, and then you assault the closer squad that you typically that you fire the heavy stubber at, or you can use the heavy stubber to kill other things, and then you fire the whatever you want to do. So that way they have an advantage in that, but the Forged ones don't because they only have 1 gun. But yeah, they're good. I can't wait to try them out with the new codex. I was going to try them out today, actually. I did a battle report earlier today. But I decided not to because I forgot to warn my opponent that I was bringing them. And I don't ever play Imperial Knights as a faction unless my opponent knows that I am bringing them. Because otherwise, that's really not a nice move. And I don't want to... That would kind of discourage people from wanting to play me in battle reports if I randomly pop out with a Knight Army. Because Knight Armies are very... out of all the armies, they're arguably the most rock, paper, scissors army that you have. And most people don't plan on playing against a Knight Army, in a friendly environment. So, if my opponent brought any Flamers or anything that ignores cover, I would just be like, oh, okay, ignores cover, or a Flamer. I'd laugh at it and just be like, you can't do anything. How many Meltas do you have, And, yeah, it wouldn't be very nice. Would not be very nice. Especially depending on the faction. If they're playing, like, Tyranids, oh my goodness. So it was fun. I played against Dave, a really good guy who was in charge of Brawl. So that brings us back to Brawl. So Saturday was Brawl. Brawl in the Hall. So I might as well talk about my day at Brawl in the Hall because it was a great day. I had a lot of fun. First of all, my partner was Mike Groves. Mike Grove? Sorry. I keep calling him Groves, but his last name's Grove. Mike Grove. He has been in a couple of my battle reports and a bunch of more mini wargaming. Right now, he's in all the mini wargaming ones because they've hit that wall where they've, they filmed so far in advance. They finally hit the point where he's in them because he filmed them a while ago. So he's in a bunch of those. It was awesome having him as a partner. We had so much fun. We were just razzing each other and our opponents pretty much a lot of the game, having a great time with them. We played double Orks. I played Knob Bikers. So my list was basically 800 points of, it was like 580 points of Knob Bikers. Warboss on a bike. Yeah, Warboss on a bike. Pain Boy on a bike. 13 or 14 Ludas. And a squad of boys, squad of Grots. That was my list. A couple upgrades as well, but not very notable ones, right? So that was my list. And then his list was he played all Orc Bikers, so War Bikers, other than 3 squads of Grots, I think. 2 or 3 squads of Grots. I think it was, yeah, 3 squads of Grots. Or 2. He was playing a standard Force Orc. He was playing a standard detachment. I was using Wallagaskal. Because his list had no real advantage for playing with the Orcs. Codex. So we might as well keep the objective secured. And, yeah. Sounds good. And we did well. It was very surprising. We faced, walking in, I looked around the room for the lists, right? And I felt guilty running Knob Bikers originally. But Knob Bikers were nothing compared to the lists that were around those tables. It was crazy. And I knew ahead of time that this is technically a tournament, but it's not really a tournament, it's called an event. But it's played as if it was a tournament. So there were a lot of people there for fun, but there were a lot of people there with really, really competitive lists. For example, one list was 3 Riptides. 3 Riptides in a 1,250 point list. And Venom Spam, the same list. So one person ran Tau Riptide Spam, and the other person went Dark Eldar Ravager spam. You know, that is a very competitive list, and it was, you know, really competitive compared to all Orc boys. Orcs are, in my opinion, and I very strongly believe this, that Orcs are the weakest Xenos army. Them are Tyranids, depending on the scenario, but it's them or Tyranids, and I think it's usually Orcs. Because Tyranids recently got buffed a bit with their drop pods and their, you know, guys coming back and stuff. Orcs are weak. They're not a strong army. They're fun, but they're not a very incredibly strong army compared to the meta. You know, especially compared to the other Xenos armies. Necrons are unbelievably survivable with their Decurion detachment. Eldar is a powerhouse. Tau are incredibly strong with shooting. And then there's Tyranids and Orcs, right? And so one of them's the weakest. I'd argue Orcs. So we didn't feel that bad originally. We looked at the list and we placed our list probably, out of the 15 teams, we were probably 9th or 10th in competitive ability. You know, and we didn't, you know, it relaxed us a little bit because we were, you know, we didn't want to look like jerks. Because I like to play for fun. My partner, Mike, is a really fun guy. We both know how to play Orcs. So we thought, okay, whatever. So first round we played Blood Angels, but it was a single player playing 202 doubles list, but it was because he was the odd man out in the tournament. So it was Blood Angels. So it was 2,500 points of Blood Angels, and it was fun. We rolled off and decided to go first. We won every roll off every time that we did it. We won the roll off. So we decided to go first. We kept the non-bikers in reserve because I got outflanked, and also we couldn't fit all of our guys on the table, which was a mistake. We should have kept them on the table. Who cares? And we did pretty well. We called it because when the game ended, it only got through halfway through turn 3. So in the end, it was a victory for us, but we had to recalculate the score like 18 times. It was like 12 times probably, but because we had to figure out the points. First game was Purge the Alien, so... But then secondaries didn't count for the primary score. So in the end, we won by 1 kill point. So that was kind of wacky. Okay, done. We'll let those shades dry. And in the meantime, we'll hit up the Toxic Cream. Shoot, I'll be right back. I left my paint that I need right now in the motorcycle. So I'll be right back. So I'm back. Got my Abaddon black, back with black. And it was good. A really fun game. Great guy. We had a good time playing against him. It was a lot of fun. So we won, but we didn't think much of it. You know, we're not there to win the tournament, but it was cool. Like, we won a game. That was more credit than we were going to give ourselves. You know, we're playing against better codices and good players. So yeah. So we won round 1. So round 2, we met our opponents, and their list was really scary. They were one of the ones that was like, oh my goodness. They brought 4 level 2 rune priests. And so that alone is pretty scary psychic power, especially against an army like Orcs. I'll zoom out a little bit. Where you don't have any anti-psyker, right? Orcs don't bring weird boys. You know, that's not a competitive, especially in a tournament scene. You will not see a weird boy unless you have like Dakajet spam and you're trying to get the Wah that used to. I think that's still psychic power. I don't even know. I don't use weird boys. You know, I just no. So I have a model. I think I just got to paint it up. But so that was troubling to begin with. Then we look, and they had 3 of those really, really nasty Space Wolf. So it was 2,500 points of Space Wolves, I should say that. 2 partners playing Space Wolves. And they had 3 of those really, really nasty, like murder horn. What are they? Murder fangs. The guys with the dreadnoughts with the 3-up, or I think it's a 3-up invul. Maybe a 4-up invul. The shield and the strength 10 AP1 sword. Like, it was just, oh my goodness, it was so brutal seeing 3 of those. But they're in drop pods, and luckily we were playing with Orcs. So we decided that So we decided that the best thing to do was we deployed first, and once we knew that they couldn't, we won the roll-off, deployed first, then went second. I know it's a little weird with orcs, but we figured is if we went first, we'd have to move some of our guys towards objectives, right? So we are able to cover our entire deployment zone with guys. We started everyone on the table, and so yeah, it was pretty funny. So they're in drop pods, and we're like, well, we know they have to come in. 2 of them at least have to come in turn 1. So we let them go first, and the problem was again they couldn't deep strike in our deployment zone like they would have wanted to. So we knew where they were deep striking, and we weren't really that afraid of their shooting because there was night fighting, and also we had we jinx for not bikers and all that stuff. So and bikers. So we let them go first. They deep struck in the middle of the field away from the non-bikers because they knew that, yeah, the non-bikers, if I assaulted them to a die, probably on average per turn, instant killed, because strength 10, AP 1, but it would be like the first round, I'd make sure that the 2 closest were big choppas, and then the claws would come in, and that many claws attacks would eat them to shreds. And they didn't want to give up one of, I just eat them to death, right? Non-bikers would destroy these things, because I think it was a squad of 9 non-bikers with 7 claws in there. So that alone would take out almost all their crazy hitting, and then they didn't have much left. They put so many points into their psychers and their crazy dreads. So then I turbo boosted away from the murder fangs, and we eventually just tied them up in close combat with swarms. And what we did was we kept everyone else of our models, like we still had almost the deployment zone entirely filled, but we jumped my non-bikers into their deployment zone, trying to cause a distraction, because either they had we put a conundrum, as Skari from Scarcast would say, in their hands. Either they go for the non-bikers, and it takes so much to kill non-bikers, so much, and they ended up getting like Slay the Warlord and First Blood and like, oh my goodness, they just killed everything, and they got me so many points. But the problem is, so you can either go for the non-bikers and not think about the guys in the deployment zone. And the problem is we were playing Hammer and Anvil, and we had 4 objectives in our deployment zone. Basically. Or like 3 technically in our deployment zone and 1 right in front of it that we could easily obtain. So they only had 2 in theirs, and the non-bikers were on top of 1 of them. So they could either ignore the non-bikers, and then the non-bikers would just drive around their deployment zone, destroying them, killing everything they touch, or they could respond to the non-bikers. And that's kind of what we're hoping they would do because of the conundrum. So they ended up going for the non-bikers. They kind of took the bait. It wasn't really, well, it was bait, but it made sense. It wasn't a foolish move, but they focused a lot on those non-bikers, a lot on the non-bikers. And I don't blame them, because otherwise the non-bikers would just go crazy on them. But still, so they did. And in our deployment zone, we had 4 objectives that we were just sitting on, basically, or 3 objectives that we were just sitting on the entire game, and then 1 that we kept grabbing randomly because of objectives secured. They didn't have many troops, at least not near our deployment zone, so we won that game, and it was unfortunately really lopsided. We won like 10-3, 10-2, because we were just camping on objectives and with all of our guys, and so every time an objective came, we'd grab it, and they couldn't, because they only had really 1 objective that was uncontested. So unless they rolled that exact number, or drew that exact card, it was really hard to score points. Meanwhile, like we got Ascendancy, and we're like, okay, Ascendancy, we easily have that one because we were sitting on 3, and when we rolled a 3 for the points. So it was just, yeah. It was pretty crazy. So then we won that game. We're like, oh my goodness, we're actually 2-0. That's not what we predicted at all would happen. We just played well, and luck was on our side. I rolled really well for my cover saves. And obviously, we had a great time playing it. We had a great fun. That's what matters, is the fun of the game. But it was just really surprising that we won that second game. We had a great time. We had great opponents. Our table had this giant pillar over half the thing, so it became the Pillar of Love, as I called it. I hugged the pillar. So it was a great game. Like, obviously, it was by far our favorite game of the day was game number 2. We had so much fun playing against them. Awesome time playing against them. So that was fun. We had a great time game 1 too, but then game 2 was just our favorite probably. This is still wet. Oops, just that one is still wet. So we're like, oh my goodness, we're actually 2-0. That's odd. We didn't think we'd actually win. We didn't think we'd have a chance of winning the overall tournament or anything. We just like, oh, it's cool that we're 2-0. So the third matchup, we looked at our opponent and we're like, oh my goodness, this is even scarier than the first. Like, we didn't face that Dark Eldar the Dark Eldar Tau list, but we faced one. It was Champions of Fenris, complete wolf list. So it was all Thunderwolf cavalry and wolves. Basically no shooting, but really scary in close combat. And Necrons. So that's a scary combination, right? So guys that won't die versus guys that would kill anything they touch. And everyone had storm shields and thunder hammers, and it was just scary, right? The only advantage we really had was we also had a fast list. We were relatively survivable. And we had objectives secured. Which at the beginning of the game, one of our opponents asked us about that. And they said, do you have any objectives secured? And we did tell them that we do. We had Mike's list had objectives secured. He had 3 troops. And I did not. I didn't, because I took the Wog Oskal detachment. So that I can get the awesome big mech. So the only reason why I took it was that I wanted the boss pull, which made me fearless. Because you want a fearless war boss, especially attached to not bikers, because you don't want them failing, and being overrun. That's just way too many points invested to have them overrun. So, what was I saying? Yeah. So we had objectives secured. And it was a tournament where, I should say this, basically each game went only, usually 2 or 3 turns. 3 turns we had, was our normal game. And so we decided to go second, because we felt that the Necron player really wouldn't do that much turn 1. There was night fighting. And turn 1 night fighting against our list really wasn't that scary. We're not going to kill much, but we're not going to die. And the Thunderwolf cavalry guy had no shooting. So he was entirely close combat. We knew he would want to move up. And so we decided that the problem was if we went first, all we were going to do was move up, kill a Necron warrior or 2, and then we would be in very bad shape because then all the Thunderwolves are going to jump on us. So we decided to go second. You know what? It's a tactical decision. Let's go second. And it paid off. So our opponents, second we said second, the Thunderwolf cavalry knew that you knew what we were trying to do. So it became the game of cat and mouse. So he didn't move up very far. He moved up, but pretty far away. Right, assaultable, but I was gonna need some long distances. We were playing a game of just cat and mouse, and we decided to take the bait, and we went for them, and we got lucky. We rolled extremely well. I rolled box cars, so I rolled a 12 for my assault distance with my not bikers, and then Mike rolled an 11. So we both got in and then wiped out a good chunk of half the Thunderwolf cavalry we killed. Not turn 1, but eventually. And they were much stronger. We knew that their list was stronger than ours because it's a scarier list. And eventually, each game turn, we were removing pieces and pieces and pieces from our army. But we kept the Grots in reserve because we didn't want them on the table being eaten to death by shooting or Thunderwolf cavalry. And so turn 3, this is it's a move. It's shenanigans, but it's tournament shenanigans, right? That people do pull in tournaments because of the time frames. So we knew that it was last turn because turn 3 it was last turn. There was like 10 minutes left of the game, so we rolled and our reserves came on and we just jumped to. What we did was Mike jumped his Grots onto one objective. That would have been contested originally by the Necrons, but of course the Necrons ran to current detachment, so they can get their 4-up reanimation protocol reroll 1s, and they didn't have objectives secured. And the Thunderwolves, none of them have objectives secured because they don't have any troops, period. It's an entire elite army. And so we won. And our opponents weren't the happiest, to be honest, that we pulled that. Because they knew that if the game continued like it would normally, to 5 or 6 turns, we would have been me and Mike would have been in trouble. And it's true, we would have. Right? We would have. But we took advantage of we didn't play slow. We played as fast as we could. And we took advantage of the fact that we knew it was last turn and it was a normal mission. That's what I really like about Maelstrom of War, is that you don't just jump on objectives at the end of the game and win the game with Maelstrom. It's throughout the game. So, yeah, and we won. So we went 3-0. And as I said, our opponents were not the happiest, but I think they kind of understood. Especially seeing as our list was not as scary as their list, which also frustrated them because we won while being basically tabled turn by turn and by a stronger list. And by no means were they bad generals either. They were quite good generals. But their lists were kind of, like, the thing is about Thunderwolf Cavalry is they're kind of plug and play. You know, you just simply run at whatever you want to kill and kill them. They're like orcs, but way better. You know, they have no shooting. You choose their scariest target that you want to take out and you send them at them because that's what they're good for. They're close combat monsters. They're toughness 5 with 2 wounds and, you know, it's and involves and all that jazz. They're not designed for shooting. So, yeah. And they were good generals. I give them 100% credit. We gave them full scores of points, but we didn't blame them if they didn't give it to us because there was also a rules debate that we still don't know the answer to. But it was fun. We had a good time playing it. It was not our favorite game of the day, but it was still fun. It was still fun. But by that point, in the end of the day, you're tired, and there was a rules debate, and we won, but it wasn't like, you know, game 2 where we won convincingly, it was just we pulled shenanigans and we weren't mad that we did it, but we felt guilty because it's a fun way to win. But we won, so that was cool. And so we finished 3-0, but I thought, okay, the mathematics behind it, there's 30 teams. And I think there's 30 teams. 30 teams, I'm pretty sure. So 30 teams, 15 teams can win round 1. And out of those 15, a maximum of 7.5, so like 8 can win round 2. Right? Let me think about that. Yeah, 7 or 8 will win round 2. Right? 7.5 would win round 7.5. And then out of those ones, 3 or 4 would win round 3 at most. So we knew that we had to be probably in the top 4 teams of the tournament because we finished undefeated. We had fully painted armies, which ended up being actually one of the keys. And I assumed, other than possibly in our last game, that we got good scores from our opponents. I don't know if our last opponents did dock us, but they were not happy with I'm getting a phone call. Sorry about that. I didn't end up answering the phone call in time, and they hung up. So, whoever it was, I am sorry for not answering. So as I was saying, where was I? Oh yeah, the number of people. So we knew that we were in the top 4 teams because mathematically, the points for wins are so much higher than draws. And we, like, second round, we got full points because we got Slay the Warlord, Linebreaker, and First Blood. And we also got, like, I think Linebreaker every turn. I think we had Linebreaker every game. And we got First Blood every game. So, no, everyone but the first. Or maybe we did. I don't remember. I don't remember. So we knew that we were doing pretty well. And so they announced the winners, like third place, second place, and then first place. And we were first place. Our team name was called the No Pants Dance Club. It's an inside joke. With all the other guys that were part of the battle reports, like at Mini Wargaming, Hugh and Drewski and Cody Rue and John. So it's an inside joke, but yeah, that was their name, and we won. And we're like, what? It like completely blew me away. I've never won a tournament. I've won best sport at a tournament many times because apparently being a goofball and having a good time leads to best sport, and I'm okay with that. You know, I just have a great time, play some lists, have a good time, and make people enjoy their games. And you know, I win best sport. It's happened. I've actually won best sport at the largest tournament in Ontario. And the largest doubles tournaments as well. I've won best sport both of them. 3 times total. Best sport once single, and doubles twice. And just, yeah, apparently, you know, I'm a fun guy apparently, and, you know, it's just good times. We won. I was just blown away. So I got a Skitarii guy. So that means I'm eventually going to have to start a Skitarii army. They're also getting new models this weekend. They're getting the robots, which is pretty cool. But it was awesome. I had a great time. Even if I came in dead last, I still would have had a great time. My partner in crime was awesome, and he made things fun. And like it was so much fun just to be in the tournament again. I haven't played in a tournament in a long time, and it was just so much fun. You know, it was nice not film. I vlogged it, but it was nice not filming a battle report for once. I love filming battle reports. They're easily one of my favorite things to film as well. But it's just nice to just, you know, play for fun and not worry about getting rules wrong, or, you know, you try to do your best, obviously, but it's not do or die when it comes to rules, and people are, you know, yeah. So that was really good, and we won. I was like, this is amazing. You know, I honestly did not see that coming. I really didn't see winning the tournament coming. That was just amazing. A really cool surprise. And I'm very happy about that. Yeah. There we go. Euro sunset. So that was awesome. It was a great weekend games, and once again, thank you to Mr. Dave out there. If you're watching this, Dave, you know, it was really good. A really good event. Really good event. Yeah, really good event. I was well run. Great job. And yeah, show you a little more. And then I worked a lot this week. Did a couple small commissions. But I like this new style that I'm doing with these commissions. By the way, as I said, if you want a commission, contact me at commissions@jadedproductions.com. And I like my new style of small ones because it's nice not having to face... It's very daunting facing an entire army as a commission. Sometimes it gets really tiring. And... yeah, it's not... I don't like it. It's just not what I want to prefer to do. And since I'm the one doing my own work, I make my own rules. And I was very public in saying I'm doing small commissions, and that's what I'm getting. You know, just 1 or 2 models, maybe a squad. Nothing too crazy at a time. And it's been really fun to just, you know, get a model, paint it, and get it back to the owner as soon as possible. You know, not, this is Rubik. Not have to, you know, face 100 models. Now, obviously, it makes more, like, the people who paint a lot of armies make a lot of money, usually. But it's just not my style, and I'm okay with that, you know, and it's not, I'm just, plus the standard that I like painting to, like, that was, I argue, a high tabletop quality, like the Ork Big Mac that I showed you. You know, I could just paint like those, and the centerpieces of an army, and yeah. I don't pay myself amazingly high, but my prices are way more in line what they should have been the first time I did commission painting. And I realized that I can charge a little bit more and be okay because people like the quality that I paint to. I try to respond to people as soon as possible now, at least. I have a Facebook page, social media, gotta love it. And I work hard. That's it. That's the spirit. And yeah. But I don't charge that much. I'm not a very expensive guy. Yeah. Relative to what other companies charge, I know that I don't charge the most. But that's okay. I don't need to charge the most. I don't want to charge the most. I'm also not the greatest painter compared to, like, you know, there are a lot of good commissioned painters out there. And they'll charge you more, and you get a better product, maybe. There's probably weaker ones that charge more. And that's okay, too. If they want to charge more, it's how much they ever feel their time is worth. Yeah. I decided that this dead Terminator is going to be Imperial Fists. So that'll be cool to paint him up accordingly. Yeah, it's nice to just relax on a Friday night. I'm not working tonight. I usually work in the daytime. And yeah, it's just nice to relax and get some painting done. It's raining out right now, but it's been a beautiful last couple days. I went for a motorcycle ride yesterday because it's such a beautiful day. I decided to go for a motorcycle ride, so I went riding for about an hour. And I came back and I was burned, like wind burned so badly. So today you can probably tell in that brief moment that I was talking to you in front of the camera, I am burned. What else? Oh yeah. So another big thing. Obviously, lately, the last few weeks, videos have been really behind. And I'll admit it. I'm working hard. But videos have been, even in the warp. And I really apologize to the warp heads. But that's my nickname for the warp people, by the way. But it's been probably just a lot of it's due to my schedule. But the worst part is my computer, which I've talked about. So I've took some funds. Patreon people, what do you think I put the Patreon funds towards? It was actually a processor. It was I got a new processor, and it's coming today. And so I'm going to test it out by editing the next How to Play 40K. And that's how it'll be the first big test, because that's the series that have by far the most clips, and it's the least linear series. It is very, like I'm filming on the green screen, and then I throw in clips for real game experience. And it's about the shooting phase. Excuse me. So, yeah. But it'll be good. And it'll be coming today, and I'm pretty certain it's going to fix my problem, so that'll be good. No giant legs anymore. That'll fix one of the problems, and that's the big problem that I had to overcome. It's hard to make internet videos when you don't have a working computer. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm just getting it good. I should have painted the Space Marine way before the foot. And I'll have to touch up the foot later, because it's hard to paint the Terminator. Under his foot. So that's good. So everyone who supported my Patreon, I'm going to send out a message to you probably in the next day or so as well, thanking you all. I really should have last month. But everyone who supported me on Patreon, thank you very much. You know, your funds have been very, very appreciated, because there's a first coat, and I'll do a second coat before doing a shade. very, very much appreciate it because it helped me, you know, fix my computer, and that's the key. And it's going to be a huge catalyst to filming more videos and making more videos for you all. And I'm so happy to get How to Play 40K back because it's been such a high on demand video series. So, and it's cool. You know, it'll be a good series to get back on the air. People will be happy. Other than that, people really like, and Q&J gotta get back on the air. So maybe I'll film Q&J in the next day or so. Got some J's to Q. So Q's to J, I mean. And, yeah. What else? So yeah, it's been a good week. Busy week. Today I filmed a battle report. And my opponent, Dave, what I really, really like about Dave is that Dave is like me. He plays a lot of armies. He knows them pretty well. I'd say he knows his armies even better than I know mine. He's been in the game a long time as well. But he loves to mix up lists. He loves to try different things. And he loves to try, you know, just experiment. And like right now I'm on a huge Grot tank obsession because they're awesome. Why would you not love Grot tanks? They're not the most competitive, but again, they're fun as heck, you know? So, today he brought it, what's it called? The Redemption? Fortress of Redemption. And I've never played against one. Or at least not in a long, long time. And it was a lot of fun to play against him today. The only problem, though, with that Fortress of Redemption was he was playing Dark Angels. And actually Dark Angels. I know he's been getting a little bit of flack lately for playing Dark Angels as various factions of Space Marines. But he was playing Dark Angels, and he had so much firepower, and it was against Orks. Wagaskal, it was not Breakers, it was Grot tanks. My Grotzilla list, as I call it. So my biggest problem was that I knew that if I got 24 inches away, because he had a Banner of Devastation in there, anything that got within 24 inches was going to die, because these are like extreme amounts of firepower. You know, they're salvo 4 bolters. So that will kill a lot of stuff, especially with Grot tanks, because Grot tanks is, I don't know if you know this, but Grot tanks are only armor 10 around. Adam, you missed a spot. So, yeah, they're only armor 10 around, right? So they're not going to survive that much firepower. But the downside to his Fortress of Redemption was that since he started almost his entire army in that Fortress of Redemption, and the Fortress of Redemption was sitting on 2 objectives. So I knew I was never going to score those 2 objectives, but I had a very mobile army, and just by distance between objectives, he actually couldn't shoot at 4 of the objectives. I could be standing on top of them, and the majority of his army could not shoot them. So, that's a lot of the game. I'm not going to ruin it or anything because it's going to be out next week. No spoilers alert. But you'll notice that my tactic wasn't very offensive. It was very defensive. I found myself backing off a lot because I just couldn't get near them. They were so good at shooting that I sent a couple things at them, and then I held a lot of stuff back. And it was fun trying that tactic out, because I don't normally play very defensive when I'm playing Orks. You know? So it was an interesting game. I think people might think it's a boring game, because there wasn't a lot of in-your-face action. But it was a good game. I really liked it. And of course, you know, regardless of who won and lost, I would play Dave again in a heartbeat. Because he's a good guy, and I like playing against him. You know, he's a good guy, really good guy. The other mini wargamer Dave would say he's a good guy who likes people. Yeah, so good game. That'll be up next week. And I can't wait to try out that battle report in my processor and see how fast it renders. Whoop. That was a fun game. I love the Grot tanks, regardless of how they do. They got their cans cleaned last battle report, but yeah, I really like them. Small break time, brought to you by Coke. Coke, helping Jay talk to the camera. Coca-Cola. What else happened this week? I put in my vlog, of course, for Brawl, so you guys can see my fun. Miniature painting is still going on really strong. Can't believe it. I started returning back to Miniature Painting 101 about a year ago. It was basically a year ago this week that the first return of Miniature Painting 101 happened. And since then I've put out in the Warp, and you'll be getting them out for free eventually, like 75. That's insane. It's been really good series. People are really enjoying it, and it's, as I said, it's by far it's the series I'm most proud of because it's targeted towards newer painters. It's inspired by the questions of newer painters, and it is a help because, like mini wargaming has amazing tips and stuff, but their tips are all paid. And I really like the fact that my tips are, you get previews if you pay for them. If you're a Warp subscriber, you get to see them first, and I think that's fair. But in the end, they're free, and that's what the spirit is. Because it is designed for more beginners. I don't want the beginners to have to pay necessarily for the content that will help them. Obviously, as I said, if they're Warp subscribers, they get to see it early. So everyone go check out the Warp if you want. It's a great channel. I love it. I put my heart and soul into the videos like I put my heart and soul into these videos. And there's different videos right now. There's an Airbrush 101 series that has like 20 parts so far. There is there's a weekly tutorial. This week's tutorial was a Rather from Wrath of Kings. Rather of Kings, what I should call it. And yeah, it was a good tutorial, a lot of fun to paint. I like to paint the Wrath of Kings guys. They go together really easily. Really easily. They are a cool game so far to put together. I don't know any of the rules, to be honest. I've heard good things, I've heard bad things, but they are cool models to put together. So now I'm just going to take a second coat quickly of Averland Sunset and finish up a base coat of that Imperial Fist. And yeah. So I'm very excited. You know what? Getting my computer fixed, life is good. I hope you guys and girls out there, obviously. I say guys a lot because it's just my way of saying things. Obviously, I am not being sexist. I very much acknowledge I have female viewers, and you are all awesome as well. But I say guys, you guys. So, what was I saying? I have the best subscribers in the world. I agree now. But that's not what I was saying, though. What was I saying? I don't remember. I lost my train of thought. Oh, wait, life's good. You know what? I'm trying to keep positive. With my commissions taking off a little bit at a time, my channel is still taking off. I still get about 700 new subscribers a month. The Warp is slowly increasing. Excuse me, my Patreon, I'm working hard. And I do have other things, more coals in the fire coming up. I can talk about this. You are my confidants, right? You're my business advisors. I'm actually eventually going to come up with my own t-shirt line. Everyone's been asking about that that's one of the most frequent demands I get is a t-shirt line. because every other person basically has a T-shirt. You know, Mini Wargaming has T-shirts, and then all the old employees of Mini Wargaming and the current ones have T-shirts. Ash has his Gorilla Miniature Gaming. Owen has his Gaming with the Coolers. Chris has his our not brush fire. I'm gonna forget that in a second. He has his what is it called? The Way the Brush. And you know, like we all do. We all have our own brands, and I don't have any T-shirts right now, and I should. And I have, the thing is about me is the difference between me and, I wouldn't say Mini Wargamers. Mini Wargaming, obviously, they're very creative people, and they have a lot of things. But I have actually several catchphrases and stuff. You know, like I could do the J-Knight Army shirts and just some of my sayings. So I think it'd be cool. And people keep asking about that, so they'll come out. My goal is to have a T-shirt line. Probably not. I won't be shipping them from my house or anything. I will be, you know, doing a spreadshirt thing, because they have great quality merchandise and they take care of the thing. And I'm okay if I only get, like, you know, $5 a shirt. It's not, again, it's not about getting rich off these shirts, but it's just a fun way to. I would love to go to a convention and you know, maybe bring a few T-shirts and hand them out to people, or, you know, walk through a convention, see somebody wearing my shirt. That would be really cool. You know, something I put my time into creating. It'd be very cool. So, you know, I'll be doing that in the near future. I have another idea that may happen, and it's been hinted at in mini wargaming videos. I'm not going to talk about that yet. That'll be for a future video. Once again, you'll find out before everyone else, because you are my confidants. Okay, that looks good. This 1 mile is taking forever. He'll be done soon. After this base marine that he's crushing is done, he's basically done, you know, and I'll base him. And he'll be good to go for battle reports. You know, he's, I'd argue, tabletop standard. Definitely more than 3-color minimum. So, while that's drying, I'll let that entirely dry. I will repaint some of the white areas that I painted over with the nails. Using Ghost White from Reaper. ReaperCon is actually just around the corner. I gotta do more conventions eventually. I wish, you know, like the States, there's so many conventions within such a small period of time, but with such a small distance as well, they're easier to cover. Canada's not as many, I find. But there's, you know, no, there's not as many. Especially with us, you know, I'm in central Ontario, so. I'm really excited. Today was the registration. Sorry, not the registration. The hotels opened up today for Adepticon, which is crazy because Adepticon is still like a year away. It's yeah, it's like a year away. It's last weekend of March next year, so you know, that's pretty far. It's like 320 days away. And the hotel registration's already opened up today. And of course I jumped on it. And because I loved Adepticon, I had a great time. And yeah, it was just awesome. I had a great time. And I'm going back. Oh yeah, it's like that. I can't wait. It was so much fun, and I loved the Renaissance. I didn't like the blizzard I got stuck in on the way home, but can't really control the weather. Nope. I had a blast. Gen Con's coming up, but Gen Con, there's not going to be as many WGC people there because there's so many conventions that people are going to this year that they're just not going to be there. And I respect that. You know, there's only so many. You have so much time in. You know, you only have so much time, so much money. And these conventions are expensive. You know, you can spend a month's pay easily in 3 days of a convention. I don't like that. I'm gonna just paint the other parts. And this year I will try, so I'm thinking for next year's Crystal Brush, rather than, you know, I wouldn't say, by no means did I phone it in or anything. But I didn't, you know, paint a model specifically for Crystal Brush. And this year I might do it. I know which model I want to do, and I'll order it soon. It's a Forge World model, because they're beautiful. I really like them. And one model in particular really inspired me, that I like. When I look at it, I want to paint it. So it's going to be that one. And when it, you know, I'll enter it and we'll see how it does. What else? Yeah, not much new here. Just same old, but working hard. I love these paint because it's just so tranquil. And it's nice to just take some time out of your day and focus on painting. I love the hobby. The hobby is arguably my favorite part of it. The painting aspect is my favorite. But I love playing as well. That's why I can never retire at 40K. I love playing 40K. So as always, if you're going to Gen Con, come talk to me. Come find me. I don't think I'm gonna sign up for a lot of events. The Gen Con registration's on Saturday. Or Sunday, sorry. Which here, it's a long weekend. It's May 2-4 weekend. But I don't think I'm gonna go for a lot of events. I loved Adepticon this year. One of the things I loved was I was not really signed up for much. I just did stuff like Iron Arena and I had fun. And Gen Con last year was a lot of fun too. And I had a great time with my friends Tim and Jeff. But for sure I'm not signing up for anything day one, because the stores will all sell out of everything good day one. So that's line up and buy stuff day. And then I don't know, maybe do Iron Arena, a couple other things. Learn some games. Maybe I'll learn Wrath of Kings. That'd be good. Maybe some Infinity seminars. But I don't think I'm going to sign up for that many things. I'm going to keep it fun and just hang out with people. That's what I love to do at these conventions. As I said, I really drill it home, and I hope that whoever's met me has felt that. that I am just as excited to meet you. And I don't want to sound, by no means am I I'm not trying to sound arrogant or anything, but people like to meet me. I don't know why, but I love to meet people, and I love to meet people who want to talk to me. I'll talk to them. You know, I'm. That's it. You know. At one point, actually, at Adepticon, I had a lineup of people who wanted to talk to me. It was like really weird. I didn't think that was going to happen. And right now, I'm using, by the way, the Adepticon brush by Games and Gears. It's pretty good. I like it. Right there, no way, those parts. Alright, let's do the opposite. Oh, there's still one missing. This guy's cool. I can't wait to try him on the battlefield. He is going to be hilarious to get into close combat. Oh, by the way, people, I am doing, and there's going to be an official announcement video of it next week, starting in 2 weeks. I am going to, those of you who are warp heads, or have tried the warp, or even, I did one for free, I'm pretty sure, yeah. I have a series called Face Off, which is similar, but slightly different than the series Who Would Win by Mini Wargaming. And I did start mine first, so please don't accuse me of copyright. I've gotten several of those notices, like people have accused me of that lately, and it's kind of frustrating. I came up, you know, independently we came up with it. My first video was published before theirs, doesn't matter. So the difference between our series is theirs, they can bounce out of combat and shoot around, like it's them, you know, starting on opposite table halves. Mine's called Face Off intentionally because I walk them towards the center to each other, and then the game begins, right? Like a face off. And so I'm going to actually do a tournament, which is what I've been wanting to do with the series for a while. I'm going to do a tournament. 16-member single elimination tournament. So it's going to happen over 2 months. And we're going to see who the craziest, you know, and at least every season we'll do a different, you know, we'll do multiple seasons, and we'll retire the winner and see who's the craziest close combat person. And then we'll retire them, and then maybe eventually like a tournament of champions or something. But I'm going to throw as many cool guys. The thing is, I've actually did a list, and I came up with about 25 guys that could be considered really strong, close combat oriented guys that aren't even Forge World, right? So I'm going to include 16. But I'll be throwing a video out to announce it and asking people who they think I should include, and I will take their comments into consideration when choosing the first round of 16 guys. Single elimination. Half will be free, half will be in the warp. And we'll see who wins. Just literally that. It's going to be that simple. Single elimination. Cutthroat. And I'm curious. And I'm going to randomly draw the first round opponents. And I have the feeling that it's going to be funny that like round 1 will have like I think it's going to happen with my luck that the two craziest close combat people will fight each other round 1. And then it'll be just a cakewalk from then on or something. It happens sometimes. But I'll definitely include like Drago, Abaddon. The ones that I'm thinking about right now would probably be like Drago, Abaddon, Karn, Lysander. Who else? Belial, Avatar. Maybe like a Wraith Knight. Who else? That's a pretty good list. Maybe Mephiston, Sanguinor. Necron Overlord, Swarm Lord. Maybe this guy, Toxicrene, would be pretty cool in close combat. He's pretty deadly. Instant death on 6-up. Initiative's like 7. That's pretty powerful. Yeah, we'll see. And then we'll try them out against each other. And then even after, because the winner isn't necessarily, you know, the greatest fighter ever, because they maybe just didn't fight the person that would beat him. So what I'll do is I'll do multiple seasons, incorporating as many new people in the second season as I can. And then, no, it's blue. And then it'll all be good. and I'll do multiple seasons of it. It'll be kind of fun. I think to that's sepia, to have multiple seasons of the show. Green. Sepia. And it'll be really cool to see who wins. And what I'll do is I'll film it all in a day. I'm not really biased. I don't care who wins. People already accused me of that. I've gotten a couple accusations of that in the warp, of caring. Because a couple times, you know what? Sometimes the dice don't go in the favor of a particular person. And that's okay. Once again, I lost a pink. I'll find it in a second. Maybe I was out of it. Nope, there it is. So, yeah. You know, I don't rig it. Nothing's rigged. The dice fall as they may, and sometimes the unlikely winner will win. You know, it's not like whoever will win 99.99% of the time. It's whoever wins this time. Wins and moves on. And I'm okay with that. You know, it's usually best of 3. I'm thinking like rounds 1 and 2 will be best of 3. Round 3 will be like 5 rounds or something. Maybe 1, 5, and 7. It'd be fun. I think it'd be a lot of fun. And so, you know, I think Abaddon, we'll see if he wins, or maybe it'll be like Lysander, maybe it'll be Drago. I'm excited. I'm curious to see who's going to win. The Orks will have Goskull Thraka, maybe like Ruck Face Ripple will be in there. And, yeah. We'll throw them against each other one at a time. As is, half will be in the warp, half will be free, and we will see who wins. And since I could probably film an entire season in probably a day and a half, maybe 2 days, it would be a series that I could film quite easily. Now, some of the time it will be J versus J, but it's not about the J versus J battle report style or anything like that. It's just a fun series seeing who would win in a fight, you know, in a face-off challenge between these two guys. I'm not caring that it's me versus me because I'm rolling for both, or my wife might help out or something, or I might bring in other people. It's all good. You know, it's not... I'm definitely not putting in the same category as the... J versus J battle reports, and they're quick. I always make like voices for each guy, and they're entertaining. They like punch each other, so I think people will enjoy it. I really do. Good. We should probably call it here because it's getting. I actually have no idea how long this video is because I've had to take multiple clips. But he's looking pretty good. He's almost done. I gotta highlight up the yellows and do a couple other colors. And then base him. Cool. Maybe a red glaze. Maybe I'll quickly hit this up with a red glaze, and then we'll call it a day. Yeah. Red glaze would be good. It's been a busy week. I'm tired, but by no means out of it right now. Here it is. Yeah, I'm having a good time. You know, it's always nice to sit down and do some work. Even this model's taken several weeks. I guess last week we did did we do Grat tanks last week? I think so. I think last week was what was last week? I don't even remember. Maybe it was him. I think I returned back to him, but I started off with Grat tanks. I don't even remember anymore. It's not exactly how much you get done. Just you put an hour or so into doing stuff, it's really cool seeing how much you get done in that time. You know, it really is, a level of productivity, because you just kind of block out everything. I ramble to myself and talk to you, and work gets done, and that's good. You know, maybe I should do laundry with Jay and cleaning with Jay and stuff. Plus, it's just kind of fun to invite you in on my painting process. Now, obviously, when I'm doing commissions, I don't paint with the same level as I'm doing right now, because I care more about other people's models. And it's also to a slightly different standard, higher standard usually for commissions. But I take care. Like, I put my heart and soul into every commission I paint, because, yeah, that's what most commission painters do. They care about their work because it represents them. And every time that the people field them on the battle, or show them to a friend, put them on the shelf, it represents them. So, but maybe by next week he'll be done. That'd be fun. Oops. And he'll be all ready for battle reports. And I gotta really paint up my drop pod, because it needs to be on the table too, because he will work very well with the drop pod. He'll work very well. There we go. All right, so that's the work of the week. Look at him. So the Space Marine is now painted yellow and has a wash or shade on it, and he's looking good. We base coated and shaded the other tyranids, and they'll be in future videos, because look at them. They're almost dry now. There's really high humidity right now, I find, so it takes a long time to dry. Good. So let's end there. So that concludes another painting with Jay. I hope you got stuff done. You know, I really hope you got as much done as I did. Great progress. Let's rid the world of unpainted models. Have a great time doing it. Paint together, get work done. That's the spirit of painting with Jay. So as always, thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. You people just want to paint with me and have a good time. That's what I love. I love people hearing that they love painting with Jay. And so thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for next week, as always, for Painting with Jay. I'm going to keep doing this as long as I am making videos. It's just too awesome to not. And until next time, check out my other videos. Stay tuned for the next how to play 40K, which hopefully will be up this weekend, now that I'm going to fix my processor today. So things are going to be good. Until next time, this is Jay saying, happy painting with Jay.